Welcome back. We're still talking sports right here. Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm excited. I love the outpour of messages. Keep them coming. Let's do more. Let's talk about sports in Nigeria in 2016. Let's talk about grassroots sports development. We told you Lagos State is doing so much for badminton. Big ups to Zion Badminton. On the 12 clinic and competition. We talked about Seyi Akinwunmi. You were talking about how laudable it is because kids will get scholarship. There's also another part of it that is so sweet. Ex-internationals who are here to act as role models, inspire these kids, and that just blew me apart.
It's a fantastic package to gather those kids together and give them the opportunity to be inspired by people they grew up watching on TV, people they heard about, people they read about. You know, to have those guys come out of retirement in quote, to lace their boots again and play football. Yeah. I mean, I can imagine how excited those kids must have been. And those are the things that stick on the mind. Yeah. And those are the things that go a long way in inspiring you. Yeah. And you wouldn't be surprised, 15, 20 years down the line, we would find certain individuals who by then will be representing Nigeria, who would be, you know, referencing this tournament to say it all started from the Seyi Akinwunmi initiative. And as I was saying before we went on break, I would hope and wish that it's not only public officials and personalities that are doing these things, that private individuals in their localities can also put their monies to giving talent expression, to helping to inspire people's dreams. Organize a small tournament, get, you know, some, you know, help, in terms of officiating or whatever, you know, just give back. That's right. We can't emphasize that enough. Just give back to young people. I
want us to see pictures of the All-Stars match versus the Seyi Akinwunmi and friends. For the first time, I saw Peter Dodomayana Rufai. He wasn't a goalkeeper, he was a striker. Victor Agali was around. Ikeba was around. A lot of ex-internationals, and they were playing football. Benga Okunawa was there. Olumide Harris was around. You know, it was just so heartwarming because these kids are so much fun. Seeing these guys that they grew up hearing about them, and now they can see them playing football live. It just, there's something it does to you if you have a dream, you want to make it a reality.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember as a kid playing in the football academy. Some of the greatest memories, you know, were of me meeting, you know, players like Kanu, like Okocha. Having the opportunity to be trained by Bora Milutinovic when he was a coach of the Nigerian national team. I mean, you can't take those things away from me. And those are the sort of memories that we're helping to create now for these young people. And we need to create those sort of memories, inspirational, you know, acts, you know, that go a long way for young people.
That's right. We know Taiwo Ogunjobi, former Secretary General of the Nigerian Football Federation. He was an administrator, but today he played football. Let's listen to Taiwo Ogunjobi, Peter Rufai, Victor Ikpeba. They're commenting about how important it is for us to use football to empower lives. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
I'm so impressed with the tournament we are having today. This Seyi Akinwunmi Foundation. I believe it's a good thing. We need to encourage our youths. We need to let them have that sense of belonging. So it's a good thing for us. Most especially, it's meant for the grassroots, and that's what we are really looking for, and that's what we're after. If we want to really develop football, we must go back to the grassroots, and I believe that is what this foundation is all about.
When we see this being done in developed nations, we wonder why we can't do it back home. And if you watch all the men and women of timber and caliber this country has produced and is still producing, and even upcoming, you know, ones. So you see no reason why we shouldn't be celebrating our own in this form and even more bigger.
Oh, it's great. It's brilliant to give something back. I want to commend the Lagos State FA chairman and the first vice president of the Nigerian Football Federation. You know, it's brilliant. You know, it's what touches me about this charity event to see the kids come out in numbers. You know, and that is what it's all about, sports. You know, and these are the future of Nigeria and these young lads. You know, so I've always loved to be involved in activities that we promote our kids.
That's what it is. Taiwo Ogunjobi and ex-internationals Peter Rufai and Victor Ikpeba talking about the Seyi Akinwunmi Charity Mini Tournament. Let's go to Washington, D.C. Sonny Young is standing by to give us the high points of is 2016. What got Sonny Young talking? And remember, you can also be part of the discussion now. Let's go to Washington, D.C. Good evening, Sonny. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Austin. Happy New Year to you and all your Sports Tonight viewers all across Nigeria.
Good to see you, Sonny. Happy New Year in advance, and it's going to be a very sporty 2017 for us. Sonny, let's begin with football in Nigeria. That's our sport. We love football. You've been following football in Nigeria. What were the major talking points for you in 2016?
Well, I think we kind of touched on it last week, Austin. I guess the Super Eagles end the year ranked number 51 in Africa, and I think they deserve a higher ranking than that. I think the quest now is can they get to Russia 2018? That's going to be one of the big stories we'll be following in 2017, as well as whether Bruce Arena can get the USA to Russia. Those are going to be two of the storylines we follow.
Sonny, that's your own worry. Let's be worried for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Whether or not Bruce Arena takes your team, you have your own share of your worry. Let's talk about your 2016 moment, Sonny. What tops the list for you?
Well, I think Muhammad Ali, because he was such a inspirational figure, a transformative figure, and he probably would be the death of Muhammad Ali in June at the age of 74. I think not so much for what he did in the boxing ring, Austin, but the fact that he was such a global ambassador. He fought for civil rights here in the United States, as well as all over the world. And I think he is remembered at this time of year as just a once-in-a-lifetime type sports figure. Of course, we remember the Rumble in the Jungle with George Foreman. From a personal note, Austin, I never met Muhammad Ali. However, I did meet Foreman right here in Washington back in the early 90s. They held a news conference before a fight he had against Evander Holyfield. I met Foreman, very much like he comes across, very fun-loving. And I also met another one of Muhammad Ali's fierce rivals, Joe Frazier. I met Frazier a couple times, and Ali always came into the equation when you talk with those guys. I mean, he was the common link for so many fighters.
And number two for you would be?
Well, I'm going to go with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers winning their first NBA title. First for the Cavaliers. LeBron, of course, won 2 NBA titles with the Miami Heat before he went to Cleveland. LeBron in the news again this week, Austin. He was named the Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year for 2016. And that award came shortly after he won this award. There he is on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. He was also named Sports Illustrated's 2016 Sports Person of the Year. So big year for LeBron James. Got to have him at number 2. And number 3, I know it's not a sport widely followed in Nigeria, but the Chicago Cubs winning their first World Series baseball title in over 100 years, 108 years since the Cubs won their last World Series baseball title. So that got a lot of attention here in the USA. Also, the team they played against, the Cleveland Indians, they hadn't won a World Series title since 1948. So I mentioned LeBron. Cleveland came real close to winning 2 major sports titles in 2016.
Wow, phenomenal year for LeBron James. That's why we call him the king. But don't comment about this one, Sonny. I'll leave you to ponder. I don't want any comments. I've made up my mind. I've concluded we're going to test Russell Westbrook for the alien DNA. 15th triple-double, Sonny. I'm not hearing anything again. That guy is not human. Thank you so much, Sonny, for talking to us.
Thank you, Austin, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you too. That's it, the Voice of America correspondent, Sonny Young, speaking to us from Washington, D.C. But turning point for you in 2016.
Well, the big talking points, I'll pick 3. Number 1 would be the most improbable Premier League title win of all time. No one on this planet
Saw it coming.
or anywhere else saw it coming.
Jesus Christ.
Leicester City, the season before, had barely
Survived.
escaped relegation. And in a million years, we wouldn't have thought that it was possible for a team that didn't have the superstars. Jamie Vardy was just another name in the Premier League. Riyad Mahrez was more known in Africa than anywhere else. And those, I mean, Wes Morgan,
They turned it around.
N'Golo Kante, no one had heard about
Saki.
him prior to last season.
My
And
goodness.
those guys defied all the odds and powered their way to Leicester's
Right
first.
into our face. They told us impossible is nothing.
Absolutely nothing. They won the Premier League and they won it with games to spare. Convincingly, you know, beating the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, City, the big guns to the title. For me, that had to be the moment of the year.
Wow.
Moment of the year. Secondly, it had to be Usain Bolt
Oh my God.
cementing his status as a legend, an Olympic legend, and maybe the greatest athlete of all time.
Good.
Winning triple Olympic medals 3 times. Gold medals, I must say. He won the 100 meters again, won the 200 again, won the 4x100 again.
Wow.
And I mean, you can't beat that. I don't think anyone has ever done it, and it will take a while for us to find anyone
Michael Phelps.
as great. Of course, how do you talk about the Olympic Games without Michael Phelps? He's dominated this sport so convincingly.
My goodness.
He's untouchable. For me, those two will stand out from the Olympic Games.
That's right.
And finally, like Sonny quite rightly said, how do you speak about that year without speaking about the demise,
Of
the transition to glory of an icon, Muhammad Ali? I mean, I knew the name before I knew what he represented. I knew the name before I knew Muhammad Ali was a boxer.
Wow.
I grew up seeing, you know, newspaper cuttings of him in the house, seeing him on the pages of newspapers, seeing him on the covers of, you know, world, international, you know, magazines. And then I came to a full knowledge of how great this man was.
Wow.
A man who stood beyond the sport, stood out beyond the sport, represented the face of Black America at some point. He was just the greatest, as he called himself.
Wow.
He was the first real superstar of sport, as far as I'm concerned. And he defined how people can transcend what makes them popular, even into other sphere, and become so iconic all over the world. So Muhammad Ali's demise, for me, stood out as one of the top 3 moments of 2016.
I'm waiting to hear your top 3 moments for 2016. Sonny Young says Muhammad Ali, says the Cavs winning the NBA title over the Golden State Warriors, and he mentioned the Cubs winning the World Series. Bada says there's no way you can talk about 2016 without remembering Leicester City. What a story. The power of sport, telling you that impossible is nothing. He also mentioned Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps. These guys just let you know that it's in you, you can do it. It goes beyond participation. And then he mentioned the greatest of them all, Muhammad Ali, the world's greatest. The man that injured the stone and made medicine sick. Muhammad Ali will truly miss it. We're still talking sports right here, Channel City Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. Remember, you can be part of the program on Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook, channels-sports. Chiedoze Ebe, still waiting to hear your top 3 moments in 2016. Says, I really love to see kids explain sports in depth. He's talking about the badminton clinic. He says their passion is already there. All that is needed is structure and training. That's what we keep saying. Our administrators, they need to listen. They need to listen. He went on to say, badminton is number 1. Lee Chong-wei is from Malaysia. He's a demigod. Football is organized, but takes a back seat to badminton in Malaysia. We can also zoom out, take the pressure off football. We're still talking sports. Let's go on a quick break now. Take a breather. When we come back, we'll talk about this craze Chinese football is giving to the world. Don't go anywhere. Stay.